What's up everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm gonna share with you what I found out as the best way to create a second layer bassline for a Psytrance track. First of all, I would like to share with you that Psychedelic Tips Vol 3 is at a discount price for 99 euros, and if you don't have any information regarding this course, basically it is 22 hours long course in which I have recorded making the track from the beginning till the end. Anyway, so when it comes for the second layer bassline, so I just want to share some thoughts about it, even though in the past I never was using these second layer basslines, and I'm just gonna play it just before we start. So something sounding like this. So I have the one layer bassline, which is the main bassline, sound, kick and bass sound together like this. But to make the whole bassline section a bit more interesting, we can always use a second layer bassline. And by implementing this one, so my search for the second layer bassline was pretty long, as it is not that easy. So we cannot just add a certain layer and expect that it's gonna sound good in combination with the main bassline. So our primary or the main bassline is designed from the saw, and it has a lot of information. It's really rich with the harmonics, and we're gonna use almost the full spectrum when it comes for the modern style basslines, or the bassline that's sounding like this, that's gonna have a plucky effect and also contain a lot of low information as well. So in order that we use something that's gonna be really good in combination with this main bassline, we need to be careful, as we cannot use something with a similar waveform, as that way if we have two signals that are similarly shaped, then we can come up to certain phasing problems, or if you already tried and if you manage to get the results like something like phasing effect, and then even if you move it left and right, so it's just like different position of the phaser. So in general, because the main or primary bassline contain a lot of information and mostly it's in the middle, so I want always to use something that's going to be more on a side, and somehow using the standard synthesis or the subtractive synthesis, somehow I never got the results. So what I found out is, after I tried many of the VSTs and my huge library of the VSTs, it was always a struggle. So the only thing was that I bought the faceplant almost after it came out, but I never had time to dig deeper into it and to learn it and to spend a bit more time experimenting with it. So in general, I was just going through the presets mostly, and I must say that I never use it that much, and even now I still don't use it that often, and this is just the experiment, but I found out something that's really interesting and I want to share it with you. So I'm gonna try to create it from the beginning, so you just follow up and that we can continue, but in general it's going to be the same processing or the same thing as for the bassline or the same synthesis. So generally I want to create envelope, I want to add a filter over here, so a Q going to be going down. Of course, I'm gonna use this 2 times the slope, which I believe is around 12 dB, as I believe that 1 time is 6 dB. Anyway, so staying down, a little bit lower curve, and I'm gonna use it always to around 100 milliseconds. This is my start point always. I do not want to calculate 1/16 whatsoever, because it is not that important. I will always try to hear it out and move it left and right. So I'm not seeking for exactly 1/16, because in my opinion it does not have any sense. Anyway, if it's easier for you, you can go with 1/16 of the note, but in general I know that in any BPM the 1/16th note is always going to be around 100 milliseconds in our BPM style of the Psytrance. Anyway, I'm gonna connect it to the cutoff, and I'm gonna add it, of course, over here, and I'm gonna duplicate the MIDI from the same. But now I need to add the wavetable, and this is the main or the key point for this video, is that I found out really great sounding wavetable in a faceplant that sounds really nice if you combine it with the primary bassline. So I'm gonna add the not the sampler, I want to add the wavetable, right, wavetable, and then if you go to wavetables, if you go to saws, so this dispersed saw, and then if you just put more voices to it and then just extend it to, I don't know, 180. Sorry, I think it was the different one. Yeah, dephased. Exactly this one. So this waveform sounds really good if you combine it with the main bassline. Of course, I'm gonna remove all the low information because I do not need them. And now what we can do, we can add the distortion over here, because this spread on the distortion in the faceplan sounds really, really nice. So you can choose whatever you want, but in general, even without distortion, it sounds really, really great. Just I would like to add more side information on it. So in general, I will go with the processing. I will of course add the LFO tool just to create the better grooving or ducking effect. And for this case, I'm going to use 24, even though I most likely almost never use it 24. Somehow I always get the really good results with 12 dB and with the 6 dB, and it's safe for various reasons like pre-ringing or pulse remain. So in general, I'm not using it that often. And my favorite stereo plugin right now is Stereo Spread. It's really, really great. So it does make everything that you want in stereo, and it does it really good. And I sometimes use it on the main or the primary bass line as well. So I'll just low cut everything that's below, I don't know, 200 hertz, so I don't have any low end in stereo. For various reasons again, but I'm not gonna dig deeper inside of this topic right now. So just by default, like spread on 50 and widening on 0, it's gonna sound great straight away. And now if I combine it with the primary bassline, so it's super, super, super easy how you can make it basically in just a few steps. And honestly, I was looking in my search, I did lose a lot of time in trying to find out the best way to how to add a second layer bassline so it sounds this way, combination of the saw and the noise in a certain way. Like I can go further with this, I can add the distortion, I can start modifying it, but in general it really sounds really great as it is right now. Of course I can play around more with the envelope settings of the filter and also of the, I don't know, maybe of the so it's really good for groovy bass lines. Now if I create a different style, like if I create the bass line that's gonna stop like down or whatsoever, so it's really, really good, and it does increase the groove and the power of the whole track. So this is a short video and I really just discovered it and I wanted to share with all of you. Thank you very much for watching and see you soon with another video. Bye.